New developments are occurring in the Tupac murder case involving rappers in the industry like Snoop Dogg, the press said, in case you missed it. It seems likely that Snoop Dogg's interview led federal investigators to begin investigating his possible role in the upcoming arrest and questioning of Diddy and Suge Knight.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car.
Declaring that he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge that night in Las Vegas, but last-minute changes occurred. A new Las Vegas police department is now reinvestigating the Tupac murder case, and modern technology is producing fresh clues on the guilty parties at the time. In the streets, 20 years ago, Snoop Dogg was severely tapped. The reason he didn't get into that automobile is sometimes attributed to the possibility that he got a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted that evening. Tupac hated him too, days before Tupac took his own life.
Say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Big? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with it. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all.
When the internet went into overdrive, millions of followers would begin to examine it, but one thread about Snoop Dogg discovering that Tupac was allegedly a Fed would stand out from the rest. An officer interviewed Tupac as an industry plant who sought to stifle the rivalry between the Blue Street and Red Street squads.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda they came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was.
This thread also analyzed all of the evidence that connected Tupac to his survival, which is why police never ever looked into the Tupac murder case until today. The strangest part starts in 2010 with an interview with a rapper named Trey. Though it's obvious that the plan didn't go out and he died suddenly, it makes sense that Snoop didn't want to be close to him that evening in Las Vegas. Trey was friends with Tupac, and they even worked together on a couple of records before a show. This is where things start to get interesting though. As the interviewer asks Trey about Tupac, you can hear the cameraman inadvertently dropping his device on the ground. He was in Cuba the last time I saw him, Trey responds.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
Earl. One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good. Last time I saw music.
Only 2 weeks later, a news website will publish a video purportedly showing Tupac lounging in a Cuban parking lot.
That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
The Tupac is alive in Cuba. Theory was developed as a result, and it has since become the most widely accepted theory. However, in 2025, with the introduction of new technology, what is being found is incredibly scary. Suge Knight has acknowledged in multiple interviews over the previous 20 years that Tupac is alive, but one interview in particular, he makes a strong case for his prolonged existence in particular. Before he passed away, Tupac was reportedly doing well in the hospital. "I was laughing and making jokes with Tupac when I left that hospital," Knight says. "I find it to comprehend how someone can go from performing so well to performing poorly."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you damn.
However, Tupac was reportedly in a deep sleep, according to police documents. If Tupac was unconscious, how could he and Suge be laughing? It seemed illogical at the time, but if you contrast it with another interview Suge made in 2008, he said that he is still alive and doing well.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
According to Suge Knight, Tupac was still alive and healthy during his 10 years in business. However, Suge almost lost his life at a nightclub after that 2008 interview, when a man pointed a gun at him 6 times. Since he immediately realized that it was most likely due to his public reference to Tupac, Suge Knight was hesitant to inform the authorities of anything. What's even more alarming is that Suge Knight Jr. made the exact same in 2018. The son of Suge Knight would make posts on Instagram asserting that Tupac was still alive and living in Malaysia. Suge Jr. then posted another Instagram picture of a text discussion in which someone captioned it, "You have said too much. It's now time for you to go." With modern celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce, Suge Jr. would then begin posting frenetic images of Tupac. With the caption, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon," he implied that he was being pursued in the photo of Tupac and Beyonce. Since his father is a well-known figure and was present at the court, some believe it was a media fabrication to help Suge Jr. gain influence. But others believe it was true because his father would have had more knowledge of the case than anybody else. Crime scene. But you begin to notice the holes in the tale when you do the actual investigation. Toward the head of his label. When the Mike Tyson battle ended, they saw an opening in the hotel lobby, so they decided to go to the MGM Grand to watch it.
Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the thing was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
The altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the cops would eventually be broken up by security, but not before Tupac and Suge changed at their hotel and went to a club to party all night. With the action taking place in the middle of the road, they began driving to Suge Knight's club at around 11 p.m.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
What happened after the tragedy was a mystery for over a decade. Among the many interviews the police investigated, one in particular caught their attention. That of KD, who was on DJ Vlad's show, and told how he discovered Tupac and pulled up.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light. He was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
According to Keefe D, Tupac was singled out because it was he who first grabbed his gun after being stopped at the red light.
Said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, And you said that Tupac pulled out.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car started.
Tupac was aware of what was about to happen and prepared himself, but unfortunately not fast enough. After proving that he was there at the site, Keffe D would have to submit an interrogation with the police from the night of the incident and offer proof that everything he claimed was.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in the back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando crossed Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
Now that they had a main suspect, the police would look into it further and find that Kid's reaction to Tupac's passing showed how he truly felt.
I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. It took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it.
But things start to become extremely weird at this point. Compton Street Legend, a book written by Keffe D, details his role in Tupac's demise. After decades of followers thinking it's a cover-up, why is he being arrested for the crime just now? He also made other statements in interviews that implied he was involved in it. Tupac is still alive, so they would just lock up an old man who witnessed the crime and forget about it. This is Hollywood after all, so do you believe Tupac is still alive or has sadly died knowing this?